Morning, fellas. It is, and gals. I'm sure there's some gals on here too. March 23rd, 2026. Wanted to give you guys an update on my round yesterday. I think there's some things you guys are going to learn if you're looking at this driver. And I'm hitting the TD Max in 9 degree, and coming from an 8 degree AI smoke. So I learned some things yesterday. I played around at a place called Fleming Island Golf Club, and it's a place that generally I can score pretty well at. Unfortunately, yesterday, in summary, I drove the snot out of it, which was great. I think I hit 7 out of the first 8 fairways that I hit with the driver. I'm going to pull that round up real quick and just kind of validate a couple of things. But it was a 5-hour round, and I came out of the gates out of rhythm with everything but driver. I didn't putt well. I 3-putted the first hole. I bladed my 70-yard pitch shot over the second hole. I just kind of knifed it, actually, which is a thing I do with wedges a lot, is either I play the ball too far back or I get too far forward and I knife it. So I'm still coming down, but I hit the middle of the ball and it just goes forever. And then I 2-chipped that one because I was on bare ground and it was really a delicate chip. So I was either going to blade that one over the green or leave it short, 9 times out of 10. Bogeyed that one, had a bad lie in the par 5, the next hole in the bunker. Like, I hit 2 good shots there, was pin high in 2, and had like this much sand behind the ball because of the footprint. I should have raked it and replaced it. I doubt, given the way the rest of the round went, I doubt it was going to change a whole lot. I probably still wouldn't hit a good shot. So I barely got it out and then had to chip on and 2-putt it. So I started out bogey, bogey, bogey. And actually, I think I bogeyed the first 5 holes, which just bad, right? And then as the round drug on, and I do mean drug on, it was over 5 hours, it was no bueno. However, I did hit 11 out of 13. Well, 18 I'm not going to talk about. Let's just say I hit 10 out of 12 fairways. And the 2 I missed, I did not miss by much. So, actually, I did miss one wide, and you're going to see that one. And then the other one I didn't miss by much, and it was just the ball started right and just stayed there. So, which is actually the perfect miss. That's what I want. I either want that or an overcooked draw. All right, so let's kind of talk about what I learned yesterday. And this also kind of continues on from the driver fit, because I saw that I was getting a little bit low spin. In the fit, I was at draw -1, so it was upright and -1, trying to neutralize and keep the face basically square is essentially what I was trying to do. And then in the bay on Saturday, I went over to the sim over here. I was starting everything left, and then I went back to stated loft neutral and was hitting everything left. And so that's where I got the idea, like, okay, I'm going to try neutral but -1, and my start line's cleaned up significantly. Still able to draw it, but I was able to kind of start it right. However, what I'm kind of noticing, and if you turn your attention to the screen, this is me on the driving range, I'm actually kind of hitting the top of the face, which actually lowers spin, right? And I'm noticing that because this is a shallower head, I tend to tee the ball down, and I tend to neutralize my angle of attack. Normally I'm 5-6 degrees up, and I doubt that I'm doing that now. And the smoke, I used to hit off the bottom of the face because I would tee it up, kind of lean back and try to get it in the air because it was 8 degrees and a low spin driver. I would sometimes access the bottom of the face and it would get enough spin and still do what I wanted it to do. So what I'm noticing with this driver is I'm teeing it down, hitting the top of the face, and it's just not spinning quite enough. So I'm going to kind of walk through. There's a couple drives I'm going to show you and talk about where I really saw it. And then I'm going to kind of talk to you about what I'm thinking about doing. Okay, so maybe this helps somebody down the road. So here, this is on the driving range. Let me just like play this. This is like one of the first swings. So if you notice, like, this doesn't really pick up. Like, the ball actually is here, and it actually kind of apexes up in here, and I think the tracer stays down here. But nice little draw. It got the shape just right. It was just basically a gentle draw. Pounded it. Looked really good. Here was another one on the range. that one actually did come out low and draw, which is what I was seeing on course a lot. And it was kind of funny because I got my buddy Dan to take some video of me on course, doing tracers. I was using my tripod for this. And he actually, after the 9th hole, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's basically the same thing. It's kind of funny. But so this was, this was number 2. And this actually was a little bit left of that. I couldn't really get the start line. It actually finished kind of over here. I'll show you that, on the course here in a minute. And then here was the bad one. Okay, so this was one that actually started out and it skipped past this little bunker right here and ended up like right next to a tree. I'll show you where that one ended up too, but I'm going to rewind this video if I can. There we go. And I'm going to show you something that I don't think any club, save maybe the 440K or some of the Max D drivers. I'm going to zoom in on that. Okay, you see how wide open that face is, right? I hit this way out off the toe, and this has kind of been my miss. This is what's been killing me. And what actually really kills me is the ball actually starting left of where I want it and then diving. And I feel like if I had just a little more spin instead of being up next to a tree, I'm 10, 15 feet further right, and I probably have a shot at the green. I mean, I was literally dead after this one. This is a par 5, and this is one literally, I'm kind of looking like right here with a little draw and try to hit it to here. And it actually started kind of on line and just kind of dove into that. So that's been my miss. I only saw one of those. That was all Sunday last week. So I think part of that's club dynamic, and most of it is just me. Okay, this one here was number 8. So this is a pretty tight fairway. And matter of fact, I was going to hit 3-wood because I had just sniped that one. That was literally the last drive I saw, and I'm like, I don't know. So I was actually lining up at this tree and kind of trying to get it, just on the left side of the fairway. And because if you're over here, which 2 of our playing partners hit it over there, they're dead. My buddy Dan, he overdrew his 5-wood, and he was over in these trees, and he had to punch out. So this is really not, it's really not a driver hole, right? But I was like, well, I just want to see how this looks. So what I actually did was I choked down, teed it down. Okay, so you can kind of see me, choking down a little bit. I've got it teed down pretty good. And so I just tried to hit a little bullet draw and pulled it off. So this gave me a lot of confidence right here. It didn't go nearly that high, but it was a nice little soft draw right onto that left side of the fairway. And then I actually hit it on the green and 2-putted. Wow, that was one of the first times I did that, in the round. I was on the 7th hole. Okay, so here was number 9. And kind of what I'm looking at is this bunker right here and trying to hit a little draw over here. If you get too aggressive, this water can kind of come into play if you get over that way. And this one I tried to give the beans to, and I hit it really pretty straight. The wind was kind of into us off the right. So I felt like, hitting that draw into that wind would kind of hold it up. It landed just over that bunker. I'll kind of show you where it went here in a minute too. But again, pretty good swing here. And you'll see, I'm teed down pretty good. I'm finding that is allowing me to really hit this driver well. Problem is I'm not spinning it enough. Right, so bang. Actually, I teed this one up a little bit. And I absolutely buttoned it, and it was perfect. Okay, so after that, Dan said, I'm not recording anymore. They all look the same. So let's kind of go through some of my drives here. This was him after the round. So he actually hit it pretty good too. Everybody that I've let hit this driver has hit it farther than what they're hitting in their bag. And he's hitting G440 LST. He's 2 years older than me, 57. He's still carrying it 275, 280. So he's a freak. So let's see. This was number 1. Hit a really good drive right down the pipe, nice and low. This was that drive on number 2. It kind of looked like it ended up over here, but I had 70 yards, knifed it over the green. 3, this is actually one I considered hitting 3-wood again, but we were playing the back tees, and you kind of run out of room left really quickly. So I was really glad to do that. Let's see, 4, hit a really good drive there, right down the pipe. I've been missing that one either right or left lately with the smoke. Let's see, this was 7, hit it right, kind of right in there. down that left side. I'm going to come back to 4. I know I took a screenshot of it. Like I said, I hit it right over this bunker, basically on number 9, with that wind kind of coming in off the, off us and from the left. I'm going to come back to that. But this was the one that I sniped. So, basically, I'm kind of looking in here and looking to finish it in here. And it kind of started, right here. It landed right there and it was hot. And it just went right behind a tree and I had to punch out. So like there's one that if I can manage that just a little bit more, I mean, obviously I got to get to where I don't hit that shot, but if I can manage that a little bit more, I'll be in good shape. So here's kind of my thought, all right? And so here's what I saw from Johnny Wonder over the weekend, ex-Callaway guy. And Lucas Glover put the new Quantum Max driver in the bag. He's a natural drawer of the golf ball, right? And so he's looking for something that turned over naturally with his spin, and this one did the trick. So he's taking a 12-degree driver, Ventus Blue 7X, tipped an inch, it's 45. So basically it's playing at 10.9, neutral, -1, flat cog. Flat cog. That is something that I'm going to do here in just a second. I'm going to talk about. And 12 gram in the heel, 1 in the toe, 4 grams up front. So what I'm really thinking about doing, since I've got Ventus Blue coming, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go flat cog. I'm not going to tip it because I want that tip as lively as possible. I need to spin it. I want to try to get back to stated loft and neutral. So I'm hoping the flat cog will help me a little bit with start line. It's only 3/4 of a degree. And it looks like when you go from neutral to draw, it goes up 2 to 3 degrees. I've heard Johnny Wonder on a video with Alex Noren talk about it's a 3-degree change. I saw some debates on our forum several years ago that it's only 2. So it's 2 or 3 degrees up. I'd love 2 or 3 degrees flat and be able to go to stated loft. So plan is, Velocore Blue, non-TR, flat cog. I also ordered some weights on eBay. So right now I'm 9 degrees in the fade setting and 1 in the neutral setting. So what I'm kind of thinking about, I think I'm getting a 12 or 13, 10, 12, and 15 or something like that. I'm going to experiment with those because I love the right start line and I'm just not spinning it enough. And as a matter of fact, I think I have one more. Yeah, this one right here. So this one right here was kind of the tell. This one in 18 were the tell, right? I hit this one like really good. I hit it on the button, right? And this green's pretty drivable. One of the kids that we were playing with drove it on the fringe. And I thought I was there too. Like I absolutely buttoned this. But I noticed it hit its peak. And it just died. I mean, it just fell out of the air. And I'm like, that ball's not spinning enough. It's not staying in the air. And so here's my advice to you guys is if you're thinking about Triple Diamond Max, it looks like, and pretty much all the testing I saw online and what I'm experiencing and what I saw with Ryan for sure, because I was watching him hit those pull cuts now he puts some more weight up front and that's what he's looking for is these low spin cut bombs, right? That's kind of what he's looking for out of the TD Max. But it looks like these things spin fairly low. So I think you can loft up. I hit 10.5 in the bay with Ryan, quite a while. We spent a lot of time on it. And I'm convinced I could have taken a 10.5, gone to the neutral -1 and put a heavier weight up front and knocked the spin down a couple hundred RPM and easily played that. But what I'm going to try to do is stay in the 9 and spin it just a little more. And so I think Velo Blue, which I saw more spin in the bay, if I can get the strike point just slightly different, slightly lower, and a little more weight in the back with stated loft. So I'm going to try a couple things to see if I can get it. The weights won't come till like early April. Flat cog should come sometime this week. So I'm going to at least glue that up. I don't think that's going to hurt me. I'm a short guy, so like I played my irons 2 to 3 degrees flat anyway, so I don't think that's going to hurt. I wish it was a little bit more. I wish it was more like 1.5 degrees like the Tyler Surefits. But anyway, it'll be interesting to kind of see if I can still bias my start lines to the right. Because, man, I'm going to tell you, this looked really good yesterday, except for just a little bit too low spin. Like, It was so consistent. I hit just a little soft draw, all except one time, and it just stayed straight. Man, this is a really good driver. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have a feeling this may be the best driver I've ever hit. And Dan, my buddy, said that the pro down in Houston, where he's kind of part-time in Houston, part-time here in Jax. He said his pro down in Houston, he's a Callaway stabber, and he said this is the best head that Callaway's ever made. Take that or leave it. I think it's got a shot for sure. It's a really good head, guys. And so that's kind of what my learnings are. It spins a little lower, maybe loft up a little bit. And, the weights allow you to bias things, and the cog allows you to bias things. I mean, I think this will fit a lot of people. So anyway, that's my thoughts.